Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair Explore session. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lucy. I'll be your facilitator this evening. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many sessions happening. As you can see on the list, we have 20. So we hope that this session broadens your horizons during your college search. And then we will get started. So first, I'll show you who you're going to be hearing from this evening. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong slide. There we go. So that's the order in which we'll be hearing from. We have Pomona College, the George Washington University, Wellesley College, University of the Pacific, and Ithaca College. So Pomona College, take it away. Oh, Kate, you're there. You're good.
Yeah. Well, one moment, always the awkward transitionary time, but we got it here. Thank you so much for, 60 plus participants who are here at our Explore session. I'm really happy to be here representing Pomona College. My name is Katrina Bruno. I'm one of the assistant deans in the office. And I'm gonna go ahead and start my little timer so I don't take too much time. But Pomona College, so Pomona itself is a small private liberal arts college located in Claremont, California. And my slides don't want to move. One moment. I swear we practiced this before, but so we are located, as you can see, in Claremont, California. The Montclair is the city of trees and PhDs. So fun fact, within our own little city here, we've got over 40,000 trees that line our streets. It's a really beautiful kind of little suburb outside of Los Angeles. So we are about 35 miles east of downtown LA. And as you can see, we are kind of smack dab in the middle of a lot of different places. So we are probably equal distance away from the beaches. We are about 35 to 45 minutes away from the mountains, from Big Bear, where there is actual snow and skiing, something that my Miami, Florida born self did not recognize until I moved to California. And we are also equally distanced away from kind of the more desert type areas of California. So just thinking, and I will continue to kind of elaborate on the opportunities that provides. Again, we are kind of smack dab in the middle of everything. Pomona itself is really interesting because while we are a small private liberal arts college, we are also associated with something greater. We are part of what's called the Claremont Colleges, which is an undergraduate consortium of 5 colleges. As you can see here by the visual, we can talk briefly about that, but I don't want to take up too much time. But we also are kind of sister schools with Claremont McKenna College, Scripps College, Pitzer College, and Harvey Mudd College. So we kind of tend to call it the best of both worlds. So us ourselves, we are about 1,700 students at Pomona, but consortium-wide, there's about 6,000 students. So if your student is looking for an opportunity where they are in a educational space that is small, meaning that small class sizes, lots of faculty attention, lots of research opportunities and internship opportunities, but you're a little bit wary about being at an institution that's too small, really the consortium itself feels a lot more like a mid-sized institution with a lot more students, a lot more faculty, and a lot more kind of hustle and bustle that's happening around the Claremont colleges. On the right of the slide, you can see some of the specs of our schools. You can see we all kind of coexist on the same 1 mile radius. Students at Pomona have access to over 250 clubs and organizations and 17 dining halls, which even if you're a Pomona student, you have access to all the dining halls across the campus. And one of the really great things about being at our institution too is that we have one shared academic calendar. So speaking about the academic experience, there's over 600 courses that are Pomona specific, taught by Pomona faculty, all within our incredible liberal arts education. But we also have students who have the opportunity to take classes outside of Pomona at the other Claremont colleges, really expanding your opportunities to take really cool courses, maybe experience faculty across the consortium in a different way. it provides a lot more opportunities for research and internships as well, while also maintaining the integrity of our small classes. As you can see, the average class size is about 15 students, and we have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So as you can see here, it's kind of laid out, but what that means is a very intimate experience with like faculty. You're not just going to be a student, or your student's not going to just be in a room of like 100 students, 200 students, where they're just kind of sitting in the back row learning. No, this is going to be a very engaging experience where students are expected to show up, be part of conversations, be like really present, and also get a lot of just personalized attention, lots of mentorship opportunities. There's a lot of different levels of advising. For example, when you come in, you're not only going to have what's called your first year advisor, you're also going to be paired with a major advisor. And so along the way, between your mentors, your advisors, and your essential support systems, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to connect with just people and staff across the consortium and at Pomona itself. The student experience is also very dynamic. I know that I mentioned previously about the style of the consortium, that we're all located on 1 mile radius, but for Pomona specifically, 94% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. So it's very much a residential experience. It's not going to be that kind of situation where your student is commuting off and out of school. They're going to be living and learning there. Internships and research are also something, again, that's very present. Really cool is that we have our summer undergraduate research program that occurs where students can receive funding to do projects over the summertime, upwards of $7,000 to $8,000, and also can have opportunities to live on campus. And more than half of our students will complete more than one internship. And we have tons of connections available through our career development office to help students identify those opportunities. And many students also can take on our PSIP program, so our Pomona College internship program, where you can do low paying or no paying internships. We'll provide stipends for you to do that within the LA area. And then we are very much a global community. So we are extremely diverse. Again, 50% of our students are students of color, and we have one of the largest international admitted student groups that are coming in this actual admitted year. And very cool too, we have residential halls that are, there's that timer. I'll give me about 30 more seconds, but we have residential halls that are also language-based. So if your student is really interested in connecting with a more global type of community, you are able to do that in more tangible and valuable ways here. Study abroad is also super big at Pomona. Importantly, because we do not increase the cost of tuition for study abroad. So your student can go ahead and study abroad in 35 countries, over 60 programs, and they can really kind of do that more experiential work outside of Claremont. All of this is on our website. I'm the counselor that you can reach out to. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll drop my email in the chat. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Next up, we'll hear from the George Washington University.
Hi friends, my name is Andrea and I'm the Regional Director of Admission for the George Washington University. I'm based on the West Coast working with students from Northern California through to Alaska. So a wide swath of geographic territories. GW is considered a mid-sized private research university. Just over 10,000 undergraduate students, and we're located right in the heart of our nation's capital of Washington, DC. We've got students coming from all over the country, all 50 states are represented, and really all over the world. So we're extremely proud of our geographic diversity on our campus. GW has been around for 200 years and we were founded by an act of Congress in 1821. We have 290,000 active alums. And if you're somebody who is thinking about moving to DC to attend GW and might be sticking around after graduation, it's nice to know that we have 90,000 alums in and around the Metro DC area. Even though we're a mid-sized school, our in-class experience is not a large one. Our average class size is about 29, and over half of our classes have fewer than 20 students. We want our students to have the opportunity to discuss, debate, challenge each other, learn from each other. And that's a lot easier to do in a class of 35 versus say a class of 400 or 600. So no large lecture style learning at GW. At GW, I mentioned our location in the heart of the city. Our main campus is in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood. So 4 blocks away from the White House and across the street from the State Department. Most of our students live and learn on the Foggy Bottom campus. And then 3 miles away, we have a 45-acre campus located in the beautifully residential Foxhall neighborhood of Washington, D.C. About 1/3 or 700 or so of our first year students live on our Mount Vernon campus. If you're somebody who's thinking about applying for a university honors program, women's leadership program, politics and values, or civic house, if you're somebody who's really into activism, then you would be spending your first year living on the Mount Vernon campus. We run a shuttle between the 2 campuses. It's, like I said, about 3 miles, which in non-traffic times takes about 10 minutes. You live in the Bay Area, you know that 3 miles can also be 25 minutes depending on traffic. So that shuttle runs on a 24/7 loop and has Wi-Fi, which is great if you're frantically finishing up a homework assignment and potentially stuck in traffic, which doesn't happen often. And I'm sure we will all be finishing our homework in a timely manner. Here you'll see a little bit of snow on the Mount Vernon campus. We do require on-campus housing through your junior year. So you've got guaranteed housing for those first 3 years at GW. We definitely have seniors who will choose to remain on campus. There's also a lot of really great apartments in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood as well. Lots of different types of housing at GW, everything from single rooms for first year students to upwards of living with 6 students in a townhouse style living arrangement. Most of our sophomores and juniors will have a full kitchen in their rooms, in their apartment style or townhouse style living, which is great. We don't have a traditional cafeteria on our campus. There's one on the Mount Vernon campus, but on Foggy Bottom, there isn't one. Instead, we've partnered with over 100 different restaurants, grocery stores, food trucks, what have you, where students are able to use their meal plan. So over 100 different dining partners, which is a great opportunity. If you're somebody who's vegan, vegetarian, if you are having a week of engaging in a paleo experience, you get to be in charge of what your food consumption looks like. And I have to say, as the daughter of a chef, there's no better way in my mind to explore a new city than through food. And you get to do that using your dining dollars. Again, we're in our nation's capital. And so we want you to be able to take advantage of all that DC has to offer with tons of museums, acres and acres of national parks, all of which are free and are open 24 hours. There's nothing like watching the sunrise over the Lincoln Memorial or graduating on the National Mall. At GW, academically, our 175 majors and minors are broken up into the 7 schools that you see listed here. When you apply to GW using the common application, you will need to indicate which of the 7 schools you would like to be admitted into. You don't have to know what you want to major in. It's totally fine. And even if you're admitted into the business school, if you change your mind, there are pathways for you to switch schools in your first year, second year, or even into your third year. Many of our students you'll see will double major. A lot of that takes place across schools. So while you might think of GW and our nation's capital as a great fit for political science and international affairs, we are. We also have great science programs, an amazing engineering school, public health, understandably becoming a very popular option for folks this past year as well. And journalism is also one of our more popular. You'll see here that this past year, students graduating within a pandemic, 92% of them secured postgraduate plans within 6 months. We're so proud of our graduates. Many of our students will hold an internship before they graduate. And the nice thing is you can do that in conjunction with your academics. You don't have to take a leave of absence from your school, move to DC for a semester to do an internship because you're already there. Really quick about the application process. I am your admissions counselor. If you apply to GW, I will be reading your application and I'm your main contact at the school. We have an early decision program. We also have regular decision as well. We do a holistic review. So when we're reading your application, I'm going to be taking into consideration all of the aspects that you're sharing with me. GW has been test optional since 2015, so no need to fly to Boise to take the SAT or ACT. If you have had the opportunity to take scores or take tests and you're comfortable with your scores, you're welcome to send them, but we've been reading applications for 6 years without them and are very comfortable with that as well. Automatic scholarship consideration without testing, so holistic review for admission and for scholarships, and then we will require both the FAFSA and the CSS profile for need-based aid consideration. You're welcome to screenshot this or take a photo if you'd like. I'll also drop my information in the chat so that you've got it there, but thank you so much. I'll pass it back to Lucy.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from Wellesley College.
Great, thank you, Lucy. Let me share my screen. Okay, so Wellesley is a premier liberal arts and sciences college that believes that the most powerful engine for social change is a confident and educated woman. Wellesley sits on a breathtakingly beautiful 500-acre campus just 12 miles outside of Boston, Massachusetts. So you have sort of the best of both worlds. You have a beautiful lakeside suburban campus while also having downtown Boston, just a quick 45-minute to an hour drive away, depending on the traffic. And students take advantage of partnerships with MIT, Olin College of Engineering, Babson, and Brandeis. Wellesley is home to 2,400 students from a wide array of backgrounds. It's one of the most diverse college campuses in the United States, and we really believe that diversity is essential to the educational experience. We're committed to fostering an environment where all students can thrive, and our commitment to diversity really goes hand in hand with our commitment to financial aid and affordability. We believe that money should not stand in the way of a Wellesley education. So we meet 100% of calculated need for all admitted students, and we are need blind for US citizens and permanent residents. You can use My Intuition to sort of get started. It's a really quick and easy college cost calculator tool that's available on our website. And that's a great place to start if you're interested in knowing how much Wellesley might cost for you. Wellesley's curriculum is designed to nurture students' curiosity in a really collaborative learning environment. Our classes are small with 18 students on average, and they really encourage students to be curious, ask questions, engage in discussion, and develop their voice. Wellesley packs the kinds of resources that you might see at a large research university, but Wellesley's classes are small, you're in an intimate environment, and we're 100% dedicated to undergraduate women. Hands-on learning experiences such as research are an essential part of a Wellesley education, and more often than not lead to really powerful faculty-student connections and mentorship opportunities that really shape both educational but also professional outcomes for students. And that's a great segue into talking a little bit about our faculty, who are as dedicated to teaching as they are to their own research. They're particularly invested in nurturing students' potential. Research has suggested that a key way to address the gender leadership gap is for young women to witness in action and work among a more diverse range of female role models. So Wellesley is invested in presenting these role models to our students. 60% of our tenured faculty are women, and 24% of our faculty identify as people of color. And a large majority of the leadership roles on campus are held by women. And our 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio, again, puts you in direct contact with your professors, and all of our courses are taught by faculty, so no graduate students or no fellows. Just you and Wellesley's world-class faculty, who are your teachers, but also your research partners and your mentors. And Wellesley recognizes that learning happens in everything you do, whether that's taking a quick trip into Boston for dinner and a movie with a friend, completing a funded internship at your dream company, having a heart-to-heart with your roommate over late night snacks from the campus center, or sitting on the executive board of one of over 160 student-run organizations. All of these experiences, be they social, academic, pre-professional, co-curricular, all culminate in your personal growth and also lead to a well-rounded education. And these experiences are all supported by a distinctive career education program that puts students in direct contact with Wellesley alumni through the Hive, which is an online networking platform. And starting in their first year, each student is also assigned a personalized career advisory board that's tailored to their goals. The result is that 96% of Wellesley graduates are employed in graduate school or engaged in some form of service work within 6 months of graduation. And Wellesley also strives to be a leadership lab for young women and a prominent hub for women's leadership, training, development, and research. Wellesley has a really long history of developing leaders across a wide variety of fields, and some of our most prominent alumni have shaped politics, business, scientific discovery, and medicine on the global stage. Our leadership model is not rooted in prominence or power, but rather in service. And we believe that leadership begins and ends with engaging communities at all levels to bring about positive change. We believe that leadership can be bold, as well as measured and collaborative, and it can manifest in actions both big and small, and it's a skill that any person can learn, no matter what your title or position is. You can leverage that to affect change in your community. And this commitment to an exploratory, hands-on, service-driven and leadership-focused education is why Wellesley alums are widely known as one of the most powerful women's networks in the world. It's also why Wellesley graduates continue to be pioneers for social change, such as the first female Secretary of State, the first woman presidential nominee of a major American political party, or on the ground level where they're affecting change through their community. So if you'd like to reach out further, or if you would like more information, there is our contact, and I will also drop these 2 email addresses in the chat right now. But I'll turn it back over to you, Lucy.
Thank you. And then next up, we will hear from University of the Pacific.
Good evening, everyone. This is University of the Pacific, and I would like to start by showing you guys our front gate. And University of Pacific was founded back in 1851. If you know your California history, we are actually the first charter university in California. And we are also the first university open doors for women students. And we currently have 3 campuses. First, you see San Francisco campus is mainly our Dugoni School of Dentistry. It is partially a public clinic that allows students to do clinical practice. And Sacramento campus is our law school, physician assistant, physical therapy, and other graduate programs. That being said, Stockton campus is our home to all our undergraduate students. Now, Stockton got rated the most diversity based on 2020 census. And I want to show you some demographics. And you can see that the majority of our students is Asian Pacific Islander, followed by Hispanic and white non-Hispanic students. And we're very proud of our gender balance as well, as almost 50-50 in terms of female and male. I want to show you how our campus look like. Many students walked around the campus feel like they are in UK, but they are actually in California. And we have about 175 acres, very large campus, and with a little under 5,000 students on the Stockton campus. So that really gives our students the luxury of smaller class size. We're on average about 13 or 14 students per professor. And students usually say that they really love bonding and interacting with professors and building the community on campus. And they often call by their first name, not just a student ID number. And what to study? We offer over 100 majors and minors. I can't list them all here, but I will at least show you guys a few highlights. One of the most popular majors are in our pre-professional program. So if the students are interested in becoming a dentist, lawyer, doctor, pharmacist, all that, we do offer a straight pathway program for freshmen. So right out of high school, you can enter this program and earn your doctorate degree as little as 5 years. And we do offer 2+3, 3+3, and 4+3 pathways. And we do offer many accelerator programs. If you pay attention to some of the asterisk mark, those are the major that we offer 3-year plans. mostly in business, engineering, biological science, psychology. Those we offer 3 years plan. So student and family get to save an entire year of housing and tuition costs, and they get to start working and earning as soon as their 4th year. Our engineering major also have a very special feature where students have to complete a paid internship at the end of their senior year. And students usually get paid on average $3,700 a month. So the whole semester will be almost over $11,000 a month for that internship. And what we do is we actually bring employers to campus to do all the interview and hiring process. And if your student are not really sure about what to major in, we do offer exploratory major, and they get to really explore within their field, maybe business, maybe engineering or sciences. So they are not necessarily wasting time and money taking a whole bunch of different classes and then declare the major. So we do have that option. And lastly, we offer international relations major, but all other major students get to participate in our study abroad program. We have over 330 study abroad programs in 65 different countries, and any student can participate in that. And Pacific is very flexible in terms of changing major, double major, adding a minor, or even double minor. So it's very flexible in our campus. So what's so special about UOP? We really care about how students learn and how we teach. No matter which major you're in, you will find one consistent component, which is real world learning. We want our students to be able to experience what it's like in their field. This is an actual classroom, as you can see the picture in our San Francisco campus, and they are doing clinical rotation. But all other major, we do offer more hands-on learning and project-based approach because of our class size. We do get that luxury of one-on-one attention. One takeaway I want you guys to have from me today is that, when you're doing college research, make sure you ask about placement rate, not just graduation rate. And a Pacific's graduation rate is very high, but we pay super attention on placement rate. And we have over 91% of students from last year graduated. They were able to get a full-time job within 6 months after their graduation. And more importantly, 93% of them are working in the related field. And we also pay attention on how much they're earning. We got rated the 2nd highest salary of all California colleges and universities. And we are NCAA Division I, which is the most competitive sport. And we offer over 150 clubs and organizations with 6 fraternity and sorority. And we even have an esports club. We have guaranteed housing on campus. And I will just quickly show you guys some of the requirements. We have test optional, recommendational optional, and we also waive the application fee. So students just need to apply through Common App or Pacific portal, submit the transcript. And just lastly, our deadline for early action and pre-dentistry and pre-pharmacy is November 15th. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. And then next up this evening, we will hear from Ithaca College.
Good evening. I'm Nicole Eversley Bradwell, the Director of Admission at Ithaca College, and I'm so pleased to have the opportunity to spend some time with you this evening and to share a little bit about my Ithaca College story and Ithaca College in general. I have been at Ithaca College now for 26 years and am also an alumna. My spouse is Dr. Sean Eversley Bradwell, who is on faculty here in our teacher education department. Our daughter went to Ithaca College. My brother went to Ithaca College. Several other family members have attended, and I currently have a godchild in the junior year. So I have lots of personal connections with Ithaca College, but I would like to say that that's certainly unique, maybe in the number of connections that I have, but not uncommon in that students come to Ithaca College and make connections that last a lifetime. So what is Ithaca College? Ithaca College was founded in 1892 as a music conservatory and has a long and storied history. Starting as that small music college, it's now grown and transformed into a comprehensive liberal arts college. Today, Ithaca is residential, medium-sized, student-centered, focused, collaborative, scientific, eclectic, artsy, fun, and engaged, while being grounded in the liberal arts and professional study. IC is comprised of 5 different schools with nearly or over 90 different majors in business, communications, health sciences and human performance, the humanities and sciences, and music. And the breadth of our programs, I often say, is like the benefit of a large university, where you have a lot of different areas that you can pursue, while our small class sizes and low student to faculty ratio are some of the best features that you might find at a small liberal arts college. So we have small classes, expert faculty, and engaged staff who support each and every student in a residential living learning environment. At IC, our students gain global awareness and other essential skills that employers are looking for, like open-mindedness, independence, motivation, and adaptability. So you've heard that term, location, location, location. Ithaca College is located in New York State, in the middle of New York State. And we are in a college town, Ithaca, New York, which also is home to Cornell University, as well as Tompkins Portland Community College. It is a great college town, and there's so many different things to explore. Certainly the natural area and the beauty. Fun fact, we have over 150 waterfalls within a 12-mile radius of downtown Ithaca, and opportunities for students to get engaged in the local community, which is very supportive of them, as many of us who live here work at one of those institutions and are very interested in US higher education. So there's lots for students to get involved in the local area. In terms of the academics at Ithaca, I mentioned that we were founded as a music conservatory. And if you think about music education, it's based in theory, practice, and performance. And that has always been a part of our pedagogy and our DNA inside as well as outside of the classroom. We know that we're educating students for jobs that do not yet exist. And so we've built an integrative experience and hands-on learning to support students in developing their passion and learning essential characteristics for their success in the future. We educate and engage and empower students, not in theory alone, but also in that distinctive combination of theory, practice, and performance, regardless of what a student's major is. So at Ithaca, students have a variety of ways to become involved in things that they hope to continue from their time in high school, but also an opportunity to continue to develop new skills and new experiences. So we have a community that supports students in that. Some areas that I think are unique is that many students will select a major when they come in, but we still have about a quarter of our students who will enter into our exploratory program or our pre-health professions program, both which support students with professional advising to help their exploration so they can select a major. Nationwide, we know that over 80% of students will end up changing their major at least once. And so at Ithaca College, we embrace that, and we want students to explore their options before making a final decision. Students are engaged within our 200 student clubs and organizations, our 27 Division III varsity athletic teams, 25 musical ensembles, leadership retreats, service learning opportunities, internships, and professional presentation opportunities, as well as being engaged in our Ithaca College campus. They also have an opportunity to study in LA or London or in any other place that they're interested in studying. In LA and London, we happen to have campuses there. And so students have the added support of being there with other Ithaca College students and Ithaca College faculty. And if you're studying in Ithaca, of course, as I mentioned, you have that natural, beautiful backdrop and the college town community. So at Ithaca, we are a residential campus and students are very engaged. I often like to talk about what does school spirit look like at Ithaca. So it looks like Cortica, which is the biggest little game in America, football game between Ithaca and SUNY Cortland, which we played at MetLife Stadium last year. And it also looks like over 300 concerts that are put on by our School of Music, as well as 6 main stage theater productions each year. So lots of opportunity for students to be engaged. In terms of admission and some of the additional information that you might want to consider for applying in financial aid, Ithaca College is selective and holistic in our application review. We've been test optional since 2016, and we put a lot of focus on a student's day-to-day academic achievement. We offer a full slate of scholarships, financial aid, and also scholar programs that help support a student in their exploration. And over 90% of our students receive some sort of funding. I encourage you to learn more about Ithaca College. I want you to take away from today that we're based in theory, practice, and performance.
Thank you. That's all the presentations that we have for this evening, but I do just want to ask our panelists a question, and I will share my screen with said question, and you all can answer in the order in which you presented. But the question is, give an interesting, or rather a statement, not a question, but give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
Yes, I'll go first. So I think one of the really cool things that I learned about when I came to Pomona, which is kind of very representative about where we're located in Southern California, is that a really cool event that happens every year is that our students will participate in what's called Ski Beach Day. And on Ski Beach Day, it's kind of this little national student holiday where in the morning, you'll go ahead and go skiing in the mountains in Big Bear. And you will spend that whole time connecting with your peers. Some staff and faculty will go as well. And then in the evening, or let's say in the afternoonish, you will go to the beach and you'll be able to, sometimes they do bonfires, you'll be able to go into the water in Santa Monica or some other places. I think they went to Malibu once. So just a really cool way to connect with your peers and also to really, I think, take in the beauty that is Southern California.
Yeah, and at GW, we have so many traditions in our many 200 years, but the one that I would just like to highlight, which I mentioned during my presentation, but I know there's so much information that we're sharing, is that all of our undergrad students, when they're graduating, will do so on the National Mall, and we are the only school whose students graduate on the National Mall. So if you're looking to have kind of a historic final moment in DC as you wrap up your experience at GW, then know that the literal cap on that experience will be at the National Mall.
One of Wellesley's fun facts, but also kind of a tradition, I guess, is that we have an ice cream endowment. So a few alums have made sure that whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner time, there is ice cream in the dining halls at all times. So if you would like to make 3 meals a day out of ice cream, you can certainly do that.
At Pacific, not only were at the California First Music Conservatory, we just recently announced that more than 30% of our energy came from solar. We partnered with Tesla, so we're actually the first university in California to have the solar system.
I'm going to stick with the ice cream theme. The Ice Cream Sunday was founded in Ithaca, New York, and we still have Purity Ice Cream, which helps serve up ice cream sundaes.
That is all so cool. I love all of those. Well, thank you again, everybody, for participating. I am just going to share my screen one final time with a final remark for you all. And it's just a big thank you for joining. And when you close out of this window, there will be a link to a super quick 4-question survey. We would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And there are sessions that are currently happening this evening. So if you are looking to sign up for more, you're more than welcome to. And this session was also recorded as well as the other ones that have been happening. So if you would like to check those out, you can head over to strivescan.com/BACS. With that, I thank you. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye, everyone.